Perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Belle. I am the exec president for the Malaysian Student Film Festival, which is a virtual film festival by students in the UK celebrating Malaysian culture. And so there will be 20 to 40-minute short films, which will be streamed at the end of March. Do keep a lookout for that. And in this workshop, we are collaborating with My Mind on Film, otherwise known as MMOF. Now, My Mind on Film is a Malaysian short film festival that focuses on youth mental health. And this project is initiated by the Center of Mental Health and Wellbeing in order to open a discussion on youth mental health through filmmaking. So it combines the emphasis on inspiration, expression, understanding, and stigma reduction with a focus on the Malaysian context. So the festival is the first of its kind, just like the Malaysian Student Film Festival, and has the following objectives: inspire sharing of perspectives and ideas, recognize that mental health is universal, because in this age and day, we are all anxious and we need to address that. And that recognize that mental health is changeable and it includes positives, and also just to reduce stigma. So if you're part of My Mind on Film, welcome. And if you're part of our MSFF, welcome. So to kick out some rules and regulations about this workshop, do feel free to turn on your face cameras if you like, just to give Mr. Shaiful Baker, our speaker for today, a sort of more interactive feel, as we shall put it. If you don't want to, that is totally fine. At the end of this presentation, Mr. Shaiful will be going through a walkthrough with Davinci Resolve. And I'm not sure if you guys know, but we did ask you to download Davinci Resolve, the free version, onto your laptops, just because Mr. Shaiful will be going step by step on the basics editing of the workshop. Now, just to let you guys know, remember, this is a Introduction to Editing 101. So if you have any specific questions, please do feel free to put it in the chat. During the chat, I'll be moderating and I'll be picking certain questions. I won't be choosing all of the questions just because we're short on time, but they might be addressed at the end of this presentation in the last 30 minutes in an official Q&A section. So do feel free to just chat and post any hard questions that you really want to know about Davinci Resolve in the chat, and I will address them to Mr. Shaiful Baker, and we will get started. Without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Shaiful Baker today from SONY Malaysia. Woo! Mr. Baker, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you very much. All right, so I appreciate for the invitations. My name is Shaiful Baker. I'm a SONY employee. And apart from become a SONY employee, my position in SONY employee is camera specialist. So basically what I did as a camera specialist means that I know about cameras, SONY cameras especially, from all the lineup. I've been working in SONY for almost like 9 years now as a camera specialist. So basically any new camera, any new lens, before it come out to the market, before it is available for sale in the market, I'm the one going to be testing, using, and make sure that everything is in good conditions. So that is basically part of my job scope. So last week you met with my colleague Han Te. He also recently joined our company to be part in this very, very challenging industry, because as you know that when you talk about SONY, you remember PlayStation. When you talk about SONY, you remember TV. But now it's changed, totally changed, because nowadays Sony Alpha, SONY camera is basically the #1 mirrorless camera in the world, not just in Malaysia, but in the world. So apart from my job as a SONY employee, I also do a freelance in photography. Mainly in photography. Previously I did weddings, but I'm getting tired of doing wedding because it's very tiring, but not so many payment. But then I do events, some kind of photography kind of things. But also later on, I decided I'm not gonna go for events. And after a while, after saying that, I thought to myself, I know a lot of things about cameras. I understand technicality of the cameras. For example, like if you show me some photos, I can read the photos, the setting, almost all those things. So I decided to do my own YouTube channel where I'm gonna more on educational. I educate people about what is aperture, what is how to take good photos, how to take portrait, how to shoot landscape, where is the best location to shoot landscape in KL, for example. I also do some vlog, for example, like where you can get best camera in KL, for example, where's the shops. So I also did that. And recently, we are facing with MCO situations. So what I did, because I got nothing to do at home, so I start to do live streaming. So what you see here is my live streaming setup. I'm playing games it's called Call of Duty. So I'm playing games, I do live streaming, and then one thing is that I'm using Sony camera right now. The camera that you guys see right now is a Sony Alpha 7 Mark III. That's why the quality is totally different, because it's not a normal camera. It's a full frame camera with 20mm f1.8G lens. So another cameras, I have a lot of cameras. So this is another cameras. This is the Sony A7C. Right, it is recently launched, and it is quite good camera, especially if you are looking for something that give you very high quality kind of video, and it packed with professional features. Where in this workshop, I'm going to share you some important things about the cameras, relation of cameras in editing. So as you know that I inform when they ask me to train you guys regarding to editing, and then ask me what are the software. Me myself personally, before I start using Davinci Resolve, I'm using Final Cut Pro. I try with Premiere, but I prefer Final Cut Pro because previously I'm used MacBook Pro. Because like you are running MacBook Pro and then you're running a third-party software which is Adobe. It's not really that match. So that's why I decided to go for Final Cut Pro. Then I've been using Final Cut Pro for 4 years, something like that, three to 4 years. But recently I switched to Davinci Resolve. And what makes it interesting is that, like this software is designed for professional, but it's free. Like it's crazy, something crazy. You imagine the editing software like Adobe Photoshop, but it's free. So I just cannot get it. Why is free? Why is this software is free? So I start using it, learn about it, and honestly, learning Davinci Resolve is not hard. It's easy, especially if you already have a background in editing. You understand just small basic about editing. You can go through Davinci Resolve very, very fast, very easy. Just that the term that is being used in Davinci Resolve might be different than Premiere or Final Cut Pro. Only the term, but basically the way it looks almost the same. And after using it, I having a bit difficulties. I contact with my friend. He is basically Davinci Resolve professional trainer. So at first I'm having difficulty to launch because I just bought my PC, and then seeing all these things take time. So finally I managed to solve that problem. Then I've been using this software about a year something, and so far it's doing very, very well. So far it's just fantastic. Imagine that it's free. Then after I'm happy with it, so I upgrade to the studio version, which is, we call it Davinci Resolve Studio. So basically, the Davinci Resolve Studio and the free version is no big difference. It's just the same. The way the layout of the software is exactly the same, but features are different. For example, would be like noise reduction. So you cannot use noise reduction on the free versions, but I can use it on my studio version. The noise reduction from the studio version is just amazing. When we talk in the market, the best noise reduction is from Davinci Resolve. Then you will see that Adobe Premiere also have the same thing. You also have noise reduction, but it's not as good as Davinci Resolve. But there are third party that offering a software like a plugin to support the noise reduction. For example, NEAT 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 software. They also can say that improve in terms of noise reduction in the video. But like Davinci Resolve already have it in the software. So when you have not a third party, you have coming from the software itself, it's going to perform flawlessly. So, all right. And when I look at the question that you asked, one of the most first thing that I should mention is your computer setup or your PC setting, all those things, right? To run Davinci Resolve, basically, this is how it works. When you want to edit video for full HD, it is recommended. You have 2 GB GPU, which is the graphic card, right? The graphic card of your PC or your laptop must be recommended at 2 GB. So if you wanna do editing in 4K resolutions, you must have at least 4, right? So I'm using GPU with 6 GB. It is good, but not the best, because minimum recommended is the best is going to be 8 GB GPU. That will be the best. Where usually this thing happen when you editing the videos. Too many video you put into the timeline. Too many. Later I will show you all the timeline. Too many, because in editing, video editing, the software will not use your RAM, your computer RAM. It will not use your computer RAM. Computer RAM is reserved for other things. For video editing, it will use your GPU RAM. So if you have small GPU RAM, means that it cannot run so many things at the same time inside the software, inside the Davinci Resolve. So your file is already 4K, means that it's already big, so many data inside. So it means that you cannot run it properly. And at a certain time, it come out the error say that your GPU is already maximized. Please reduce on the timeline, those kind of things. There are ways and steps to do that, but you know, like all this thing makes your works not so smooth. You know, sometimes you have an idea, but instead you are figuring how to solve this problem, so you forget your ideas. So in terms of technicality, computer settings, the best, I would say that find a laptop or a PC that have at least 2 GB GPU, which is the graphic card. That is the minimum requirement. My MacBook Pro last time I used is 2 GB also, so that's why I can edit in full HD. But in 4K, like when I start to edit my video in 4K, my MacBook Pros sound like a jet. Ooh, so noisy, you know, like because it's processing so many things. And at a certain time, you know, when the computer fail, what happens is that it will automatically shut down, just like that. Or if you're not lucky, you will get blue screen, right? So that's why GPU is very important in video editing. When you talk about maybe not using a Davinci Resolve, you are using maybe iMovie. Yeah, that one is much more lighter, but using the free, those like iMovie or the Windows have one Movie Maker, but now Movie Maker is not free anymore. It's paid. Previously it's free, now it's paid. That one is quite light, all right? But any computer can run that, but again, it's not the best. Because later on I will show you what's interesting about this one, where you can do a lot of manipulations, like a photo editing software, like you using Adobe Photoshop, compared to normal editing that you use on your PC. It's totally different, where so many things can be done in professional video editings. All right, so I hope you guys already installed Davinci Resolve. And some of you ask question which one, which is either the 16 or the 17. Any of it, no problem. Basically, it's just the same. But the 17 have new features, but that features you guys not going to use it also, so don't have to worry about it. All right, so I'm using the Davinci Resolve 16 Studio. So now let me share my screen so that you guys can see what is on my screen. Let me, okay. So now you guys can see my screen, right? So once you first open the Davinci Resolve software, automatically it will come up with this project. We call it Project Manager. In Project Manager, you will see something that untitled or whatever, I forget it when the first time launch. Then basically you need to create new projects. So down here, at the down part here, you will see new project, or you can do a folder. So what I did here, all of this is folder. This one is my gaming folder. This one is my birding folder. This one is for my my YouTube folder. So for example, if I choose this one, so I have a lot of projects here. So you arrange your folder properly so it looks good on your when you want to find all your projects. All right. All right. So just want to come back. You see down here, there's a home bottom here. All right. So you come back to the main page. All right. So for this purpose, for today purpose, I create a new project. So to open a new project, I just create here, new project. Just name your project, whatever name you think of, right? And then for me, I already set it to test. Yeah, this one. All right. So just open up, just double click on it. So this is the project that I'm gonna share with you in detail later on. So this is the, what we call that, the interface of Davinci Resolve. So basically, all editing video software, video editing software, it will look the same. So you will have the preview on top here. You will have the file or the file, the video file, everything here. Then you will have a timeline. Down here is a timeline. And this one is the inspector, or maybe like, for example, like this one, right? Press inspector, this is inspector, this is the metadata, the data of your video. For example, for this video, I recorded at H.264, 25 frame per second at 4K resolutions. And the audio is 48,000 Hertz, two channel. Two channel means that stereo, left and right. Okay, so and it all about the data of the video that I have here. And another video, for example, like hold on, here, this is my birding videos. As you can see that it's running in 4K also, but this one, I'm shooting at 100 frame per second because I'm shooting at slow motions. All right. I'm not sure whether Han have covered this part or not, but if I play back the video here, right, the speed is normal. It's not going to be in slow motions. You need to edit this part to become a slow motion. So it's a little bit different, right? You know, like when you use a phone, right? So when you record slow motion, you will immediately get slow motion effect directly from the screen. But in this video, as you can see, I don't get slow motion, but I need to edit that part. These are the one that I'm gonna share to you later on. All right, it's the same thing. What are the things that I'm gonna cover? First, I'm gonna cover about basics, how to cut, how to arrange your videos and everything, how to copy, how to select. Then I will go for slow-mo, where I'm going to share with you. Oh, sorry, hold on. My son. Okay. Wait for a while. Okay, I'm going to start the video for now. All right, so where am I? Okay, how to edit, how to make this one, all of this. So I'm going to do a slow motion where I'm going to show you how to make the video slow motion and also fast motions, especially when you talk about transition later on. I believe that some of you, a lot of you are asking about how to make those fancy transition, how to make looks cool. Yeah, I will go for that later on. And lastly, I will go for color grading. For color grading is something that very important because when you talk about cinematic feels of your video, if you want to have a cinematic feel, cinematic comes in few elements. Number one, we call it bokeh, the background blur. That is part of cinematics. Number two is motion or movement. You know, like you move your cameras moving instead of just static, right? Sometimes what happens is that your subject move, but you become static. Your footage becomes static. That's good. But if your subject doesn't move and then your camera also doesn't move, it looks boring. It looks very, very boring. So you need either one moving, or both are moving. Both are moving are the best, but not all camera able to do that, especially when you talk about focusings. To track a moving subject while you are moving is not easy. But I would say that using a Sony camera is so super easy, because we have a features where we can do what we call tracking. So it means that now the camera can track the subject moving, and you can move around no problem. So that is what we call in um, uh, motion in your video. Then the next one is color grading. Color grading also one of the important elements in cinematic, because you will talk about emotions. One of the way that you can bring out emotion is by putting the colors that you want it to be. If you want it to be, you say, very mad, angry at certain person, you cannot use it cool color, because cool color will bring you down, right? So you need to match it with warm color. So you want to have like a very peace situation, so you need to have cool color. If you want to bring out some, for example, in your video, in your films, you want to put in, for example, maybe like you want to have a flashback. So when you do flashback, you change the color a bit, so it gives you a difference between normal and flashback. So that's why color grading is one of the important element in making cinematic films. Very, very important. And if you see all the film in the world, all the colors are amazing colors. And if you see, all the movie have a very amazing background blur, the movement, even someone when they're talking, right, and when they're sitting in the chair and the cafe whatever, the camera move, like very slow movement motion. That is part of the cinematic feels, right? Other than that, the next one is sound. We call it sound engineering. In sound, for example, sometimes, right, people walk. When you use a sneaker and you're walking on a tar, there's no sound. There's no sound. But you put sound so that it will show that this guy is walking. So that sound you need to put in. All right. So that is the full element of making a cinematic video. If you have that element plus with your good storyline, it's going to be amazing. People watch it, and then when they watch it, they enjoy, they feel the moment, they are into the moment that you want to bring, that you want to show in the films. So all of that can be done in video editing, right? All of that. So for your information, Davinci Resolve have been used by professional, not a normal professional that do weddings. It's even for filmmakers. Filmmaker using Davinci Resolve to edit. If you go to Davinci Resolve YouTube, or I'm not sure, there's a movie. This guy, what happens is that they go to the studio, and then this guy who is the main editor, the head of the editor, using DaVinci Resolve Studio as their software. Yeah, of course, they're not using DaVinci Resolve 100% because they are professional, and then they are using certain type. They are using a Premiere. They use other software, but DaVinci Resolve play an important role in making the movie, in editing. Very important role, especially when you talk about color grading. And for your informations, DaVinci Resolve is known the best color grading software in the world. It is the best. Everyone use it, right? And what's interesting is that, sorry, some water. And what interesting is that DaVinci Resolve is not only for color grading; it also can be used for editing. Basic editing, adjusting some audio. Yes, I know that other software like Adobe Premiere can do a bit more, but for certain level, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do all those advanced things. Like go straight to your basics and make it easy, make it simple. Just focus on the element that I told you, the bokeh. The bokeh is about camera, and then the motion is also about camera, your shootings, and then the sound engineering and color grading. You focus on that part. That's the most important part. The other one, don't really. If you notice, right, if you watch all those good short film, right, they don't have fancy transition. No, they just cut normally, pop, 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 only. They don't have all those fancy transition. But sometimes, if you want to have a fancy transition, at least you can do it. You can apply it in case you really wanted to put it in your films. Yeah. But if you are doing a travel, you're doing a travel video, yes, fancy transition is important because I don't know, there's a market for that. People really go into for that. But don't worry, I have a transition later on. I will show you how easy to do transition. Is very, very easy. There are two ways. One way is using the software itself. Another way is buying the transition, right? You need to buy. And for me, I don't buy. I just download. There's a free versions. You need to find it in Google. And then just install it. Later on, I will show you how to put it inside the software. And it's quite easy and very easy to use also. All right, so I hope you guys are ready with your computer and you have a Davinci Resolve running. So let's go for the first part, which is basics. But before that, I just want to make sure that whatever version that you're using, we're going to have the same things, right? So I have a 3 video here. This is my son, right? And he's doing, I asked him to do some kind of promotion about my YouTube channel. Okay, so how to import of this file is very, very easy. One good thing about this software, which I really love it compared to Final Cut Pro, is that when you import the video into your software, it's not gonna take the whole video. Your video gonna stay at the position where you have it. For example, so this is my video. Hold on. Done, yeah. Okay. Okay, now you can see the screen. So this is my video. All the video is on different folder. It's not in the same folder, different folder. Then all of this, what I can do, I just drag it here and then put here. That's it. What it does is that the software will take all the data only. You only take data. You're not going to import the whole video into your software. And this makes your software run very, very fast, very efficient. Instead of it having all the videos, the original video into the software, it only take the metadata. All right, so you can drag it here. All right. Another way, forget. Down here, you will see media, cut, edit, fusion, color, fairlight, and deliver. All right. So this is the media. Media means that all the video that you have. But usually I don't go here. I will straight go to edit. Just go straight to edit at the bottom tab. And then you will see all this master, smart bin, and then there's a video over here, and then there's another screen over here, and then the timeline over here. In the timeline, it's separate into 2. You see this line, right? At the top is the video. At the bottom is the audio. Right? So when you record a video, right? So most important part is that it will have audio, video, and also the audio. In editing, you can split it into 2. You can split it. If you think that the video too fast than the audio, then you can rearrange to align it together. For example, if you record, but you are not using the microphone from the camera, you are using a recorder. You attach the recorder to the person here, or you hide it here, and then the receiver is in the pocket, right? So what you can do is that before you start recording, right, you clap, right? Of course, if you see in the movie, they have this, proud like that, right? But you don't have that, you clap. So this clapping means that in the audio graph, suddenly you have zoom, it going up, all right? So indicate that is the clap sound. So the camera will record the clap sound. The recorder also will record the clap sound. So then you match it, the 2 line in the same line. And then you have sync the audio properly. So that's another way, in case that sometimes maybe your camera is quite far away, right? The mic, if you use the mic, you cannot capture the audio properly. The person talking is not very loud. right? Maybe you want to have a shooting session where the guy gonna whisper to another guy. He said, "I love you." You see it like that, right? But you want it to be here. You want it to be here, right? So you put a recorder. You put a small mic here, hidden here, right? Or you hit over here, right? So, and that sound, before you start recording, you clap first so that later on you can sing the audio properly, right? So that's the best thing because you can do it here. You can match it using the software that later on I'm going to show to you. But I don't have the clap feature things, but later on I'll show you how the wave, the audio wave works and everything. All right. Okay. So before I start on this part, I want to share you one important things, very, very important thing when I talk about editings. Editings, it only can works well if you have a very good video. Remember that part. If your recording is very bad, you cannot say that later when I edit I can fix it. No, this is not photography. Photo, yes, you shoot in RAW, and then maybe you shoot it a bit not okay. Then after that you think it's okay because we run out of time. So we wrap here. In editing, I will try to fix it. In video, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that because when you record your video using your consumer camera, you are recording in exactly what we call, like photo, we call it a JPEG, which means it's already processed. It's already processed. You cannot do a lot of things. You can do minimal editing, but you cannot make something so bright, so dark become so bright, or something so bright make it normal. You cannot do that, right? You need to make sure before you record, everything is checked properly. The audio, you test, you check. Okay, good. The audio is good. The exposure of the camera, yes, it's good. The focusing of the camera, yes, it's good. Press record button. Once you're done, you check first. Because if you do it wrong, right, there's only one solution. Either you cut off that part or you need to reshoot. That's the only solution. All right. So the best way is to record everything properly. All right. So for my camera, I record video in different methods. So let me show you my first video where it is totally different methods. Yeah. So this one we call it. Hold on. All right. You see this part. The background is totally blown away. Totally blown. Out of nothing. There's nothing there, right? And here, my subject, which is, I think some of you might know, his name is Zizan Razak. He's actors, comedians, singers, a lot of things you do, right? So the exposure for this part, my intention, my objective is to make sure my subject is properly exposed. He is properly exposed. As you can see, he's properly exposed. The detail, everything I can see very, very good. But the background is totally blown away. Right? When you record video in normal situation, this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get. But my camera have a magic. All right. My camera, the camera that I'm using have a magic. So let me show you. These are the one I have. All right. When you compare the one that I shoot just now is totally different. Just now you see nothing here at the back. You see nothing. But because I'm recording in a little bit, we call it advanced. I'm recording in S-Log 3. We call it log video recording. I can get all the detail here. But your camera, I don't know how good you are in video technicality, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. The only way you could do this is that you need to have some light. You put it here, right? Maybe you put it here, the light here, to bright up the subject so that you can see the background. This is a very challenging situation where we call it a backlight situation. Backlight recording is not easy. It requires experience. It requires technical knowledge. Okay. Right, let's go for the basic part. I think my son part also I record in log video recording. Let me check this one. Kalau korang belum subscribe, no, this one I didn't record in those very different kind of settings. This is another different settings, but as you can see that the camera that I'm using, I'm recording in 4K. You can see myself here, right? Because it's so sharp, it's so good. They can do that. All right. Okay, so let's proceed to this one. Okay, now this is the timeline here. All right, so this is the timeline that I'm going to do. What you can do now is that you right click, you go to timelines, and then you set create new timeline. All right, so it's up to you. Maybe you have in your films, right, you have different part. This is the intro part. This is main story part. This is the flashback part. So you want to have separation between all of this. So you can do that in different timelines. You can do that in different timelines, right? So for example, I already put it basic over here. This one, I name it, and I name this timeline as basics. And all of this right, all this folder, as you can see, all this folder, if I want to create a new one, I just right click, new bin. Right, you just right click new bin, and then you can name it whatever. Maybe you shoot at different days, shooting at 1st December, shooting 2nd December, shooting 3rd December. So you can put all the file here, right? So whatever file you want to have, right? For example, I put it this one as deliver. Okay, so the file that you want to have here, for example, this video, this video file, I just Control C to copy or Command C for Mac, and then over here deliver, and then you just paste. You just paste the video over here, or you can do the drag things. You just drag the file to this file, to this folder. It's very easy. You don't have. It's not so complicated. It's just very simple things. And then if you want to delete, it's also very easy. You just press delete, remove. That's it. Right? Very, very easy. Okay, let's go for the basic. All right, so this is the video. I'm gonna go to the basic timeline. Just double click this timeline and then select all like this. You can drag it, or you can choose one by one. All right, and then drag it. Or what you can do is that you right click, right, and then you can insert selected clips to timeline. Any of it should be fine. No problem at all. No different. It's the same. All right. So, and as you can see that it is too small here. Too small. All right. So what I can do for my Windows, you press alternate and then you scroll. Then you make it bigger. All right. Scroll. Okay. For Mac, you command scroll. So sometimes like you want to choose a different part, you can just drag it like this. So the audio is too loud right now. Hold on, let me lower it down. Okay, you can drag it all over the place. All right, make it small. If you have a lot of clips, a lot of selection of clips, then you can, like for example, I'm going to have this all other video. All right, so now you have different kind of things. Okay, that is importing your video into the timeline. It's quite easy. When you do that, automatically you will have two files. The video at the top, the audio at the bottom. All right, video and audio. So how you want to control the audio volume is very easy. You go to inspector on the right part, inspector here. Then you see video and also audio. You go to audio. This is the volume, click volume. All right, click volume. So once you change that, you notice that on the visual, the timeline, audio visual, right, is also increased. All right. Okay. So another way to do that, another way to adjust the volume is you move your cursor to the audio, then you will see arrow up and arrow down. So you just press, click, and do like this. Going up, going down, going up, going down. It's also the same thing. You will adjust the volume. Okay. All right. So let's move here first. This one, make it bigger. All right. Okay. Then if you wanna unlink the audio and the video differently, so right click, link clips down here. So now what I can do is that I will move the audio only, video stay there. All right. So if you have a different audio, what you could do is that go to your audio and then drag it down here. That's it. So for example, I want to put music. So let me go to my music folder first. PC music zipad. Okay. So this is my audio. Let me show to you. Okay, this is my background music, right? So what I do, I'm going to drag it down here. See that? Once I drag it down here, it will create another timeline. That's for audio number 2. Just now it's audio number 1. This is audio number 2. We mentioned here, audio number 2. Okay, so now we'll have an audio. All right, have a background audio. And if you think that audio is too loud, so let me bring it here. Okay.
For Baker YouTube.
Okay, what I can do is that reduce the volume of the audio. Okay, one more time.
Korang kena subscribe.
That is very loud. Sorry. Oh, no wonder. No wonder it's too loud. Okay. Okay, one more time.
Korang kena subscribe Shaiful Baker YouTube.
Jangan lupa.
Jangan lupa.
Alright. So now you have a background music in your video. Sometimes you wanna do some kind of like no audio at all, only video but different music. So you just mute this one. I mute it. Only the background music will come out. So it's good when you try to do a music video, for example. When you do a music video, what you need to do during the recording, you need to have a speaker playing the music, playing the sound, the song. And the guy who gonna be your main actor, you need to sing the song according to the music. But later on in editing, you need to put the original music into the timeline, and then it will match. And then you need to make sure all the lip sync are properly done lah. So that's why I said early about clapping is very important. If you don't have those things.
Mr. Baker, in terms of audio right now, we had a question. Does Davinci Resolve have audio syncing, or would we need to align it ourselves?
Yeah, you do have, but honestly, I never use. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. When I first learning about this technique, right? I always try to do we call that the auto syncs, right? But when after doing that, I realized that certain part, the lips and the audio not really match properly the way I want it to be. But after that, I recover that when I do clapping, it's much more accurate, much more accurate. It's something like once I sing the clapping sound, the rest is just perfectly matched, So it do have, and I forget already where to go for it to do the what we call that, the audio syncs. But my recommendation, all right, the best way is clapping. If you don't have a clapping situation, find something, tap on the table or whatever, anything that can trigger the sound wave, anything. All right. So like this one, the graph, let me show to you. Okay. you see this, all this graph down here, the audio part. All right, let me read it to volume bit. That is basically very, very accurate. If you see the clapping sound, right, the graph will automatically become very big, very wide. So you just match it together, and the rest of the thing gonna be like nothing. You don't have to do anything at all. We're going to be perfect syncs. Okay. All right. So, okay, now that's about the audio, the audio in your timeline. If you want to have another video on top of this video, right? So the timeline created to have a layer is have a first layer, second layer, three layer, and you can have so many layers as possible that you want it. So I have another video here, right? So once I move it up here, right, it also will move the audio at the same times. So this one, so let me bring it down here first. So when I put something at the top, it means that it will overlap on the bottom one. We always do that. Okay. So this one, right?
Korang kena subscribe.
See, it will overlap the first one. And this one, if you think that you want to make it like less opacity, you also can do that. Let me show to you. See that? It have the opacity setting also. So everything is in inspector on the top right tabs, inspector. Okay. So you can see the opacity of the first video and second video. Okay. Some people, what they do, they love to do something like this, right? For example, they have a in-between videos, right? So what they need to do, sometimes they, hold on, let me do this very fast. So they put it here, all right? Then they put the video in here, like this. Okay. So in everything aligned into one line. I don't really like that because it doesn't preserve the originality of the video. So what I always do, I always make sure that come out just like this. So if I have a video over here, right, I just cut it, move it to the front here. So means that the first video still maintain as it is. And if you think that this audio gonna intervene in the first audio, what you need to do, this part you can cut also. And I'll show you just first. Later I will show you. And then you mute this part. Okay.
Kena tekan butang loceng. Jangan lupa.
All right. So you can do this by adjusting the audio in every single track that you want it. Instead of you cut everything, the whole thing into one piece. So you can do that. And you know the pro video editor, you know, their timeline is going to be crazy timeline. They will have, I don't know, maybe 11 level, 20 level of video, another 20 level of audio. You imagine how messy the timeline looks like. The timeline looks very, very crazy, right? I never do that before. But when you talk about films, when you talk making films, you need to have all the elements, right? You need to have a sound, you need to have background music, you need to have different scene, you need to have a different color gradings. So once you have that, you have your timeline going to be looks very, very messy. But don't worry, if you do that, you will know every single things because you are the one who put it there. Right? You are the one who put all those video over there. You are the one who put all the audio over there. All right. So it looks very messy for other people, but for you, normal lah. It's my work, right? Because it's what you do. All right. So let me show you all those control things, and I do everything like very easy because I have all the shortcut buttons, all the shortcut key. So if you want to cut your video, right, you. Okay, one more time. Okay, at the first here, I said one more time, right? Okay, one more time.
Korang kena
So I need to start from here. So I need to do here. So let me this one link back. All right. So I need to do here. You can use your keyboard cursor, this one, all right, to move the timeline, left and right, left and right. Okay. So like I did right now, to be precise. So what you need to do, you press Control B. That's for Final Cut Pro shortcut. But I know that some of you coming from Premiere. So the button here, we call it blade here. It's over here. You press there, and then you put here. Then automatically now you will cut the audio and the video at the same time. All right. And then this one, the video that you already cut. All right. So you go to this cursor again. This cursor over here. So you choose which one you want to delete. There are two types of delete. Don't make these mistakes. I make this mistake and also get confused. So there are two types. On your keyboard, there will have delete button and also backspace button. There are two. All right. For Windows, delete is different. Backspace is different. When you press, for example, now I press backspace. See, the timeline is still in order. The whole timeline is not yet cut. But if I press delete, what happened? Repeat. The whole timeline gonna move to the left. The whole things. So if you have another video down here, it will overlap and also it's going to be deleted. So that's why don't press delete if you have any video at the top here. I'll show you some example, yeah? Okay, I have this video. Oh, sorry. Okay. I want to cut on this part. So what I did, I go to blade here, I go here, all right? So then this part I want to delete. This part I want to delete. If I press the delete button, the whole thing gonna move, right? So if I press the back button, backspace button, only that part I want to delete is deleted. The rest is still maintained where it is. So remember that part. Don't too fast press the delete button sometimes. It happened to me and I get confused. Hey, where's the video that I did here? Where is it missing? It's missing. Why suddenly it's cut off? Because I pressed the wrong keyboard shortcut. All right. So, yes, sorry. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
We have a small question. Does it have an equivalent to the Final Cut Pro's keyframes?
Keyframes.
Perhaps like a bookmark icon that can.
You mean like something you can put like this? So sorry. Like this? Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
This one.
Amazing. Awesome. Yeah. And some of our participants would love to, because we're a bit short on time, would love to know about the color grading as well. Yeah,
okay.
Just a gentle note.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is basically part of the basic editing, and then you can move around, move here, and move it there. It's up to you where you want to move it here. All right. And again, the shortcut button is very simple. To copy, Control C or Command C to paste. For example, here this one, C, Control C. Then I wanna paste it here. Just Control V. So that's very easy. The rest of things is very easy, not so difficult. All right. Okay, so this is the clips. Let me. All right. Then all of these are so many things here. You can do a lot of things. You want to crop your video. You want to do a dynamic zoom. You want to stabilize your video. It's all on this part, right? You need to go through by yourself to really understand about all of this. Basically, it's just very simple things, not so difficult. So I'll show you one thing here, very fast. Dynamic zoom. Okay. So when you press dynamic zoom, make sure it is on right here. And then over here on this part, you press dynamic zoom. So what happens is that now the camera will zoom in from here to that part. So let me show to you. Kalau korang belum subscribe, subscribe, sila subscribe. Very slow. Zoom out very slow. You can do that also. So if you don't want it, just turn off. Right, so you can see that it's now zoom. All right. Okay. Then let's go for the very first one about the slow-mo. Okay. This is my slow-mo timeline. All of this video. Oops. Okay. This video, normal speed. So I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do now, you right click, you go for change retime control, sorry. This one, there are a few things here, but you go for retime control first. And then you will see down here, there's an arrow facing down, you press, and then you go for change speed. In change speed, you have 10%, 35%, 50%, 75, 100%. 100% means normal speed, that is now. Lower than 100% means slow motions, and it depends on your cameras. Right now, this video have the ability to reduce slow motion up to 25%. So this is what happened in slow motion. Let me mute. So this is slow motions at 25%, means that it's a 4 times than the normal speed. Okay, so this is a normal speed. That is normal speed, very, very fast. Okay, in order to achieve slow motions, let me make it to much more smaller at 10%. At first, the bird is eating something. Okay, sometimes your footage is shaky, very shaky. Slow motion can solve that problem because, let me make it normal. Shaky, right, at the first, but then I turn it into slow motion. It doesn't look that bad. The shakiness is not that shake. So it can have, but you cannot do it all the time. You cannot do it all the times. And one important point is that your video must be slow motion video. Like this video, yeah. This is not a slow motion video. This is a normal video. I play back. Okay. How do I know? I go to metadata at the top right. This one is mentioned 25 frame per second. 25 frame per second means normal. Okay. So if I want to make it into slow motion, I turn it into a slow motion. Hold on. Okay. What happens is that the movement, the motion is not really in real slow motion. When you play back, it will look very funny. It looks like frame by frame, like a robot moving, like that. It doesn't look very smooth because a real slow motion is going to be moving very smooth. But instead, you will get something like this, right? So in order for you to have a slow motion, you must record in slow motion settings. Okay, all right. That is about slow motions.
Sorry, there's one question about the slow motion. Is there a key function similar to the Sony Vegas Pro for increasing or reducing the speed of a clip just by extending it to fill the gap instead of putting that number?
No, Davinci Resolve don't have that what you call that way of method to make it slow motion by dragging the files. It doesn't have, because I'm using Sony Vegas, I think 7 years ago. Very, very long time. I'm learning editing using Sony Vegas. I'm learning using Sony Vegas, but after that I found much more better, so I changed. Right? Honestly, don't use Sony Vegas because it's outdated. It's not really. It doesn't have so many tutorial on YouTube because not so many people are using it. Use the one that people use all the time and used by professional, which is Premiere or maybe Davinci Resolve. Another software would be like Filmora. Filmora also very good. Cyberlink, all these kind of things also okay. Not bad. But for now in the market, there are 3 famous, which is Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, and also Davinci Resolve. These are the 3 most famous being used. And there's a lot of tutorial in YouTube, so easy for you to learn also. Okay, that is about slow-mo. Let me go for color grading. Again, this create the timeline for color grading. So drag the video down here. So this is the color grading. Right. Okay, here's the one. So to do color grading, or the bottom tab, you go to color. All right. Once you go to color, you will see this. All right. It looks very scientific. It looks very, oh my God, what is this? All right. So many things. So what you could do here is you go to lock on this part, on your left part, you see the wheels. There are 4 wheels with colors. And there's a mention here, lock, primary wheels, primary bars, and lock. All right. There are 3 things. The way it adjusts also different. So because I'm recording in lock profile of colors, I always go for lock. And then you will see shadow, you see midtone, you will see highlight, and also you can see offside. So shadow, for example, see that? I can increase the shadow. And once you do that, all right, it also will react to my scopes on the right side. This one I choose spread, or you can choose waveform. All right. So see that? So your objective here to make it neutral is that it will not go beyond or under 0, and also it will not go more than 1023. It will not go more higher or lower. It must be within that area only. So if I go lower, show you what happened. All the dark area is totally no details. So you need to bring it up first. So you're going up, then you start to see details on the shadow area. Too bright, not good, but you just make it just nice within the box. And then the highlights, which is the top here. This is the highlight. On the top is highlight. So you're going up, going down. So if I bring it down, you see the shadow. You might not gonna see properly. The shadow, the clouds. Sorry, the clouds cannot be seen. If I bring it down, there's no clouds on the sky. All right. So I need to bring it up so that I can see. See that? Now I can start to see the clouds. All right. This is no clouds, and then I can bring out the clouds. Now I start to see white clouds and blue sky. All right. So why I can do this? Why I can do this? Why I can manipulate this? Because I'm recording in log video. The ability, the camera have a little bit extra advantage compared to normal video recording. Then you can adjust the color accordingly. Here, the shadow go to maybe a little bit of red or maybe blue. So it's up to you. You can adjust from whatever color that you want it to be. All right. And then the highlight, you want the sky to be a little bit very blue. So up to you. You can make it blue, or you want to make the sky red. Looks like a sun at a golden hour. You can do that. Yeah, you can do that. So that is the beauty of having these kind of things. But again, because I'm recording in log recording, that's the reason why I can do a lot of things here. All right. Normal video recording, you don't have all the power that I'm using right now. Okay. So this all the color, and then you can see down here under the wheel, you will see CONT, pivot, LR, HR, SAT, set, and hue. So you can adjust the saturation, hueness, all those things you can adjust. For example, I want to increase the saturations, all right, or reduce the saturations. The hue, I can adjust the hue, saturation to low. See, so now hue is more towards blue. See, you can adjust a lot of things here. And if you want to go more detail, you will see this histogram. All right. So let me make it neutral again. Okay. So this one is 50. All done. And hue. Okay. So here, what you could do is that this is about shadow and highlight. So I want to increase the shadow, reduce the highlight, or reduce the shadow, increase the highlight. Right, so you will get more contrast video now. Right, so you can do a lot of things. Other than that, you can go for hue versus saturations, where you can adjust only the red color. it will only affect the red color. The rest of the color, it will not get affected. All right. Or you go for green color. See, the green color now have different kind of saturations. Okay. So you can adjust individually based on what you want. And this is what we call color grading. And you see this one? This is what we call nodes. These are one of the most powerful about the Davinci Resolve in color grading. They have nodes. Node is similar if you guys familiar with Adobe Photoshop. So in Adobe Photoshop, you have layer. In Davinci Resolve, we have nodes, N-O-D-E-S, nodes. Okay. So now this is the first layer. Then I create another nodes. This is a second layer. So whatever I did here will not affect here. You have a different kind of layer. All right. So you can bring out here and there. So it's up to you. And then you can link it together, right? For example, you already done here, right? You're not happy. So what you need to do, you link back to the final. This is your final output over here. So this one going to be ignored, all right? Because it doesn't link. So this is one of the powerful about Davinci Resolve because it can do all these things. And other software like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, it doesn't have these features. This is what makes I love with this software. All right, so that is basically one good thing about this one. But sometimes I know that some of you might don't have the idea to do the color grading. You want to apply lookup table, or we call it LUTs. All right. So to do that, right, is very easy. You just go to color here. You right click, all right, and then you grab still. Oh, sorry. This one for you to down. So you see this one, this video have 01. So what you could do this one, you just right click, you apply the LUT that you want. For example, I have a LUT, 3D LUTs of Asus here. All right. Now it will apply the LUTs. Let me use the different kind of LUT so that you can see the different. See. So you just apply the LUT that you already buy or you already design and then I put here. And for example, okay, these are the color that you really wanted. These are the color that you already wanted because we have so many clips, right? You want to make sure that all your clip have the same color. All your clip have the same color. So what you could do is that you right click, right? And then you grab still. This one. These are the color, right? So this one, what you could do is that you just need to apply this color to other of your video. So what you need to do, for example, go to edit here. Let me split it into two. Okay, color. So now I have two. Okay, these are the color that I've already done. Let me go very quick about editing the color. So the shadow. Okay, then just a bit here. Then,
Mr. Baker, sorry, quick question. If we want to start a new node, right? Does the timeline have to be at the frame that we want it? If that makes sense.
No need. Okay. Any frame that you want it to be that you want to edit, you just go for that. And then, for example, you have two here. Remember, I already split it into two timeline here, first video and the second video. So now I want to have my setting here, my color setting here, also here in the second video. So what I did to do, right click, grab still. This is the file, the one that the color that I already wanted. And then I go for here, right click here, and then I just apply grade. So it will automatically apply. So you see the nodes revealed here. So I cannot undo this part. Okay, let me delete this first. All right, this one. All right, let me create one nodes. Add node corrector, link it back here. All right. So this is the first one. And this one, there's no node here, empty. So this one, I'm going to apply the nodes. So apply grade. So now you have seen the nodes, right? So it means that all the color setting that I've done in the first clip, I can apply to second clip. If I have a lot of clips, in shootings, you don't not gonna do one shot. You're gonna have different shot, right? So you wanna make sure that all the shot have the same color. So what you need to do, edit one color part, and then you copy by right click, grab still. After that, you go to the next video, next clip, and then you go to the file that you have, and then apply grade. And then if you have a lot of file, for example, let me split too many here. Okay. So you have many here. So what you need to do is just press shift, select all, right click, apply grade. So all now will be applied at the same times. Very, very easy. But make sure your first color editing perfect. So then you just easily match. And you need to check one by one, because sometimes, when, especially when you record video and then you didn't check properly, you notice that the white balance on the first video and the second video is not the same. The white balance is different. The color are different. So once you do, if you have this kind of situation, you need to readjust again, because it have different color. Remember, this one is called color. If you apply it, it's going to affect your next video. Okay. So this is so many things need to learn. There are a lot of things here. So many. But this is just some basic introduction, what you can do with it. And the most important part here is that like I showed to you how to edit all this part, right? This part. These are the one. Let me show you. These are the one that the free version doesn't have. We call it noise reductions. This part. They have a frames, how many frame noise reduction you apply, how many luma, chroma noise reduction you can apply. But the free version will not have this one. And the noise reduction from Davinci Resolve is very, very powerful. Okay, that is about color. And the last one I'm going to share with you about transitions. This is quite easy. Very, very easy. All right. So I have a transitions. But before that, let me show you some videos about transitions. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, on the video that you just saw, it have all the element of cinematic. You have a sound engineering. If you listen the fan sound, there's no sound from the fan, but we need to create the sound, put it into the videos. And the movements, there's a zoop sound. They also need to create, right? So there's a lot of things, colors, in terms of movement, motions, in terms of focusing. You see the movement, all of it must have in cinematic. So this one is another one. So let me show to you very, very fast. This is very fast one. Okay, for this video, I didn't put a single transition effect. No transition effect. So what I did is all about recording. So you know, like when I record, I will move like this. So these motions, the motion that I just did, right? That is my transition. So my next clip, I'm gonna do like this. So you know, like the first clip, I'm going out. So another transition coming out, and then slow. I'm the one who do the slow motion. Move fast. Okay. So it's a technique. It's a technique where you can do transition without using a transition, but that one require I'll say that skills to do that, experience to do that. So if you don't have all those kind of things, it's very, there's a transition where I can help you. Okay. But for film, sometimes you want to do cross transition from moving from one scene to another scenes. You want to have very smooth transition, right? So I already create a transition timeline here. I have two video here. All right, and this is the first part, and this is the second part. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is very easy. You go to the edit part, edit tab bottom here, then you go for video transitions. Okay, all right. The meeting point is over here, so you just put your cursor over here, and then there's a dissolve here, dissolve transition. For example, I want to make it into a cross dissolve, so you just drag it and put here in between. So then playback. All right. So if you think that it's not smooth enough, you just drag it bigger. Very easy. Everyone can do that. Then if you don't like this one, you click on the transition, you press backspace. Remember, backspace, not delete. Then you change to push. Okay. Sometimes you want to make a movie, you know, like movie, there's a pole, the camera move, right? The camera move from left to right, but they have a different scene. They use this push to have, but you need to do the movement. You are the one need to do the movement, and then you slide in the video sign. So just match it, just match. How to control the speed? By controlling this. If I do like this, it's going to be very fast. Okay. If this one, to be very, very slow. So if you have one scene, another scene, you move very slow, then you just adjust this one accordingly. Then you will see the movements. Okay. All right. All of this is pre-installed. So you can have it. You can do a lot of transition here. You can cross dissolve. This is cross dissolve. This is the one that I love use the most. Okay. Pressing the space bar is basically going to play back. Spacebar. Spacebar being used by other software, so Adobe Premiere also use, Final Cut Pro also use spacebar as playback. All right. What if you want to have a fancy one? You want to have a fancy transition. Let me show you my fancy transition. So let me get film roll.
We only have a few minutes left, so perhaps after this, could we learn how to perhaps export, and then we'll wrap up?
Okay. Right. Not this one. Let me make it spin. Spin anti-clockwise. So this is the what you call that, the transition that I already download. So I'm gonna put it here. All right, and this one looks a bit more cool. You see. All right. Oh, sorry. Make it bigger, longer a bit. Right. So to apply, it's very simple. You need just to put on top of the video that you want to have. So this is the transition. Let me play back frame by frame. But you need to have this first. You need to have this. You can do it inside here. You can use this software to do that. It's all under Fusion here. Fusion tab. You can do all those things, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very, very complicated. The best way, just download it. I also download it because I don't have time to do this. It takes time. Imagine I have 25 clips and I need to do one every single thing. So, it takes a lot of time. So instead of just using my transition that I already have, let me put it into Zoom now. Just now we put Zoom. Okay, let me put it into film roll, film up. All right, so it's much more easy to do transitions, and doing this is not that difficult. All right, so the next one is about how to render your file. Not because the term that we use, videographer we use, a video editor use, is rendering. So to render the file, the video, for example, this is the video that I want to render. Okay, so how to do it? Bottom tab, it mentioned deliver. Okay, and then on this part, file name, all right, file name, you name it, whatever you want it. Let me put it as test, and then browse where's the location you want to have. For example, I put it here. I put it test one. Then the video part, this here, video format. My recommendation format is MP4. Okay, frame rate, you set it 25. Quality best, encoding profile auto. After you're done, right, you go to add to render queue. Then it will appear here, job 1. Once you think is okay to do the job, you press start render. So this is the file, this is the location where I want it to go after I finish. So start render. So now I have the file, test 1. Okay, so my recommendation is always MP4. Okay, last part, subtitle. Sometimes you want to put subtitle and text, right? To get a text also very, very easy. You go to titles here on the left bar, you see titles, and then you will see text. Scroll to the up, you see text, text plus. So whatever text you want to put, you just drag it. You just drag, you press and hold, click and hold, you drag it over here. Then you can adjust how long the text is going to be. And then you go to inspector. Sorry. This one. The text. Then you want to text. Then it will appear. And then you can change the font. You can change the color. For example, make it red. All right. So it's very easy. And then you just put it text. That is text. But subtitle is not going to be the text. Subtitle is different. For subtitle, you need to use a subtitle. So what you need to do for subtitle is that over here on this part on the timeline, you right click, choose add subtitle track. Then it will appear subtitle ST here. So this is your subtitle. Create caption. Remember, inspector, create caption. So this is your subtitle. Then you also can put the subtitle location. You track style here. Position, left or right, up or down. Okay. So you can put it anywhere you want it. Then for example, let me put 2 subtitles. Remember, you split into 2 by pressing the blade here. Okay. Then I'm gonna put subtitle here. Subtitle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one subtitle A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. When you deliver, when you render, all right, this is the render tab. You see at the bottom here, subtitle settings. Export subtitle. In export subtitle, you have two options here: format as a separate file. Means that, you remember, I know that some of you will downloading some video or movie, it have a file where we call it SRT, means for subtitle file, right? So if you choose a separate file, means that it will come out with two files. So let me delete this one, add to render queue, replace, start render, then this one, I put it here. Oh, sorry guys, replace, start render. Now you have a subtitle file, subtitle.srt. It means that video and subtitle are separate files. So another way is that you want to burn subtitle into the video. Okay, so to do that, you press burn into video. When you press burn into video, it means that the subtitle will be permanent in the video. So I delete this one first, add to render queue, replace, start render. Okay, hold on. I accidentally. So this is a test one. Now it's already have a subtitle. It's already burned into the video file. So you don't have to worry two different files. So for example, like you render video for YouTube, you can do these two options. Either you want to have different subtitle and video, or you can put into burn, because YouTube have the ability to put subtitle in different separate files. Okay, guys, I think that is all from me. There are a lot of things. Basically, there's a lot of things, right? Like I informed earlier to Yvonne also, I informed that this is not something you can learn in 1 hour. It takes time. Even me myself, I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot of things coming from this Davinci Resolve. Right? I'm not a pro for editing, but I know the basics. So if you know the basics, the rest will be easy. The rest will be very, very easy. All right. So thank you very much for listening. So now we're open for Q&A, right?
Yes, but we will only answer one last question.
Yeah, one last question.
There's this one question that really stood out to me, which was with other softwares, they could manage their project files to be shared easily with peers. Davinci, can we share our project file and work on it simultaneously with other people at the same time?
All right, yeah, you could do that, but I never done that simultaneously, because my workflow is not that, because my workflow is alone, working alone, because I'm a YouTuber, freelance YouTuber, so I do a lot of things alone. But I have a friend of mine from CST Production. He's a professional filmmaker. And also I have a friend, which is our trainer. If you guys know Gus Abu Bakar, he's a filmmaker, director, DOP. Police Evo, he's the one direct the films. Yes, he will use this software and then do it simultaneously with different people, with editors, those kind of things. But yeah, he could do it. But again, for you guys, right, what you could do is that once you've done the editing, right, you can save that files. Then you can copy it down to different computer. For example, this is my system. Then out of nowhere, my system crash. Okay, so I recover the file, and then I can get the file, and then I put in new hard disk, and then I can start editing again. So you can do that. Means that I have a different two computer, for example, computer 1 and computer 2. So this computer 1, you done editing, and then you want to move to computer 2. So you can get all the file over here. But remember, all your video must be in one source. Must be in one source. If your video don't have a source, let me show you what happens if your video don't have a source. Project manager. This still opening. It will happen like this. We call it media offline. It means that now the video is not linked to this editing software. So what you could do is that you need to relink back all the videos. For example, here, edit, this file you need to right click and then relink selected clip. So you need to link back where is the files in the folder.
Amazing. I think that's a very important thing to note, guys, to always link it to the original source.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the questions. So thank you so much, Mr. Shaiful, for going through so many things in such a limited time. Honestly, that is a skill in itself. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Before we wrap up this session, could I ask if we take a group photo, mostly for the wrap-up session of this point? So if I could ask everybody to turn on their lovely webcams so that everybody can be seen for this marketing shot for everybody, that would be much appreciated. Amazing. Mr. Shaiful, if I could ask to stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, I did.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, let us see your beautiful faces. Thank you so much for joining us after this long and hard workshop. I hope you guys learned a lot, because I personally learned a lot, and I've never used Davinci Resolve, so this was an enlightening workshop. If I could get one of my team members, Hannah or Yvonne, could you just take the screenshot for us? Hannah, we'll let Hannah do it. Okay, everybody smile. Just to let you know, Hannah, you're muted for now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Shaiful. Before all of you guys leave, we have just one quick announcement from My Mind on Film. Darren, could you please speak about that announcement in a very short time?
Well, yeah, hi guys, hope everyone's keeping well and safe. Just want to make this quick, if I can share the screen. Can you all see this? Okay, cool. So next weekend, MMOF is actually hosting and conducting a webinar. It's titled My People, Our Friends, Family and Society. And it is named as such because we are going to talk about the role that our friends, family and society play in our mental health. So it's going to be co-hosted by Her Royal Highness Tengku Puteri Raja Tengku Puteri Iman Afsan Al Sultan Abdullah, who's the International President for Mental Health Day, and also Professor Dr. Andrew Mohammed, who's the President of MMHA. And there's also going to be some esteemed panelists such as Dr. Ko Swee King and Dr. Bindi Rajasegaran, and there's me, Darren Leong, a uni student. I've always been a very strong advocate and strong believer in the fact that if we want to destigmatize issues like this, such as mental health, it always starts with honest, difficult conversations. So in the session next week, we'll try our best to include these kind of conversations during the webinar. You can find the details down here. So next Saturday, December 12th, from 4:30 time, so that's 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. if you're in the UK. And the link is down here. I think one has already said it. So yeah, that's just to wrap it up, and I hope you guys register.
Amazing. Thank you, Darren, for that. So guys, just to let you know, that was the MMOF webinar, and do check out our social media handles and our LinkedIn just to know everything. Everything is in the chat box. So if you look at the chat box, all the links are sent there. Thank you so much. And if you would like to learn more about Davinci Resolve, Mr. Shaiful Baker has just shared a link. Oh, nope, that's not the link. Do give me a second. Mr. Shaiful, do you mind sending it to everyone in the chat? Thank you very much. All right, if you'd like to learn more about Davinci Resolve, that is the link below. I hope you guys found this workshop very useful. Let us just give Mr. Shaiful another big round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. And we shall see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.